Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 7. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report. We are now in week 7 of 2024. Things are looking up, new things are coming in, and we have plenty of news also in this particular news reports all the way around. We have news regarding yield notes. We actually tried to go for a visit, but it didn't exactly go as we expected it to. We have a couple of new links also that produces now a bit more profit. We're going to show you exactly how that's going to work out. And we also have one blown account. Well, not exactly, but at least we lost a bit of money on one of the EAs here in the recent week. We're going to show you which one that is, and you can obviously have your guess. But we're going to start completely different place. We're going to start off with yield notes. And as you remember, so it is more than a year ago here now since I went to yield notes last time. I had a chat with Woods. I had a chat with John that was also helping out in Malta at the time. And also I had a couple of conversations with Steve in the past. You see the yield notes office here. And I went there recently, so in the past week, just to have a look, see if anybody was around, anybody could tell us a bit about what is actually going to happen in the first quarter of Q1. But I found out that there was no cars there. Normally there's always a car or two, and in yield notes either not the painting, but basically some logos on it. Sometimes you also see Woods Porsche in there. But no, nobody was there. Everybody seemed to be completely in lockdown. I did go and ring the doorbell here also, and somebody answered that didn't know anything about yield notes in the first place. So I was quite stunned by that because Yield Notes Hub has obviously been around here for a while. And even though you can mix up a building or two once in a while in Malta, this one here is pretty distinct, and also where we used to sit in the offices, things like this. So obviously I picked up the phone. I tried to call Woods, but nobody was actually picking up. And I also tried to text him here. I went also to text John. I now understand that John is no longer with yield notes. I know he had some medical issues that I believe he will take care of. And then finally, later on in the afternoon, after I came back home from the visit here, I got a bit of information out of Steve, and then asked him again here. It says if the office was closed. It actually looked like that. But he says no, he was not quite sure about the address, but anyway, the guys should be there. He mentioned also that he double checked and if I had the right door, so on and so on. So a bit of back and forth in here overall. Obviously a bit strange, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt, of course, that if they were out for lunch, something else. The only thing that I questioned a bit was when I rang the doorbell, nobody knew what yield notes was all about. So a bit strange, definitely. So didn't go away with the best feeling overall. I wanted to talk a bit about the white paper that I also mentioned last week again, and how things are progressing. As you can see here, it also shows again here if we are hopefully launching Yield Notes Pro by end of Q1. Just a small little feedback from Steve here says, honestly think a delay, but we are on a good track. So again, there is a big chance, because we are already in the middle of February here now, that things will actually go into Q2. And we did have a bit of feeling about that since we haven't heard anything since Christmas. They are saying here that the Flitz wallet is picking up steam and basically moving forward, and that's part of the base also for the coin value in here. Obviously not something that I had paid attention to before, but at least it's good to know. So unfortunately I can't really say anything else at the time other than I did speak to Steve, and he seems to be very much around, and still also making sure that the Yield Notes Pro is still there. But obviously I must have timed it completely wrong. Now let's go and have a look at the SAP coin just to see how the development has gone in the past week. Last week we left it up here at the triple, or there was a 60.22. Since then things has actually gone a bit down again also here. So now it's 0.60 and then 1.8. So definitely not a good development, and there's also very small volumes on these particular coins here at the moment. You can see the highest volume was actually happening here on the 16th. The other part that we are looking at is we are looking at our SAP wallet. So this is the one that we have set up running 24/7. And last week we could basically tell you there was nothing in here. So this time around, at least on the 15th, now came in. You can see the previous time was 28th of January. So there has been more than 2 weeks where we got nothing. If you have a look on the right hand side, so January here we made 1120 SAP, and at least this time around we have the first one coming in 280. Obviously far from what we got in January, but hopefully there will still be a couple of bonuses in there for us if we keep up the pace. So let's hope that that's going to be what's happening. And if we have a look exactly how much that means in our wallet at the end of the day, apart from the 280 SAP, it's 1.4% again, 1.36 or 7 at the moment, as I believe it. So it's not a lot of development. We are talking about 4 or 5% if we get another donation in of the 280 SAP or so. If we go also to PNY, so PNY also had a similar fate as the SAP coin here. Nothing happened since 31st of January and then came in again here on the 12th of February. And also here, as you can see, we are far from where we were in January, 1179. So it was for January profits, and February we are very, very low. We only have the one entry of 133, and that also only makes 0.8% of the 133 PNY we've managed so far. So it's obviously not impressive, and what I'm trying to show again here, there's no particular timeline for when this is coming in, when it's staking. It's all about the volume of how much is the turnover, and obviously the higher it is, the more people are staking, the more that is actually happening on the coin itself. Obviously you will also get further profits in. Now if we go and have a look at Bitcoin, that has certainly been on the move in the past week. So when we left it last time, it was at 47,000. So on the red circle in here, the bottom was a bit further down, so 45,932. But since then, things have been moving quite well, gone up, and we breached also the 50,000 mark, all the way up to 52,816, as you can see on top here. Since then, it has been now moving sideways, dropped just before we were shooting this particular video. So we're ending up at 51,419, and we'll have to see if that's going to continue or not. We were lucky enough actually to sell right at the top here for a bit of Bitcoin that we got in that we wanted to exchange. So let's see if the price is going to start to come down again. Now, if we have a look at the Trillant news, also in here, there's actually not much news for that particular platform this week. The funny part here is important message about official communication. And it says here to ensure that all information is passed on correctly. So they're asking to pay attention just to the official channels. And this is to avoid some kind of telephone game effect that could pass on incorrectly, or private supplemented information, and say that where there's many positive and helpful channels. Hopefully we are one of them. However, there's also groups that unfortunately spread false and doubtful information, I guess. For this reason, we urge you to read the official newsletter that are sent out by email. Now, when we always talk about Trillant, we also have a look at the emails that are coming in, similar to what you see here, and then we give our own take on it. So it's entirely up to you. Again, the same information that they say there are a lot of positive and helpful channels, but there's also some groups that are trying to spread a bit of bad news. But then again, what is bad news? Because obviously we don't have very good news with Trillant either in recent weeks, but we are not going out as far as saying it's a scam either. But definitely there is something that needs to be fixed in that particular platform in here. Now we can find a lot more, and we always mention the official Telegram channels also. There's one in German and English, and you can see the links below in here. if you want to go in. You can see all the details and information in there also if you don't want to follow the emails. If we have a quick look at the tree, so this is the variable coin that is in there that is supposed to be going up on the coin store and one of the other platforms also here. But last week we left it at 0.0002120, and since then it has pretty much been trading sideways most of the time, apart from a little bump up from end of last week. So it's at 0.0002107. And again, not much movement, at least not on the positive side overall, which is obviously a shame, but we don't think it's going to change much until we can see some real movement again. Things are moving forward, payouts are happening on the Trillant platform. Now we have movement also on the money tree for this particular week 7. Low risk one, well, there's 0 in here because all of the accounts have been in drawdown. They haven't come out of it yet. The only reason why you can see the high risk one has actually come out of it, and that's because it reached a margin call in here. Doesn't mean that the entire account is gone, but it did lose out $2,095 or minus 40% overall. And that is obviously not very good. Recently here we made a small change, and I'm telling you a really small change in here, where we are normally running 0.01 or 0.02 lot sizes in here. That was simply enough to make this one not necessarily go bust, but definitely to lose a bit of money again after we clawed it all back. Now, if we have a look at the medium risk account, which is okay, you can see the floating profit and loss is obviously down by 10% or a bit less, minus 433. It has been running 290 days overall. And we can see that even though that one also lost in the beginning, since we made some lot adjustment, things has been moving in the right direction, and we are getting close to the all-time high again. We are still most probably a month or two away from that particular point. If we have a look at the high risk one, we can also see that had similar faith. We put the lot size down. We felt that this was going in the right direction. We felt comfortable that things were going okay, and we only made one small little change in it, but that was apparently enough here to lose a bit of money. So right now we are back down just over 3,000. You can see the equity here, 3,136, no open trades. Again, this here is running also on a 1 to 200 leverage account. So maybe if you had 1 to 500, you wouldn't have had the problem, or 1 to 1,000. But then again, this is 1 to 200. And that means that we basically ran out of money at the end of the day, and the broker closed that particular deal for us. We are also on this one, history 295 days. So disappointing, where we're basically back to where we were, about, what is it? That's back in July. So more than 6 months ago, we are now back again to the same spot, unfortunately. But we're going to continue to trade this one for a bit, because obviously we want to see exactly what are the best levels, and as you will see, it looks like at the moment the medium risk level is the one to go by. Profit retriever for week 7, we have the top 5 EAs in there. They've been doing quite well. The first one is silver with $737, so 7.3%. Definitely been up there for a while. The same with the FTSE 100, $567, or 5.7%. The FTSE 100 has been doing really, really well now for weeks. And we also expect both the silver and the FTSE 100 to be on the top monthly profits for this particular month, even though we still have quite a few days to go. Euro New Zealand, $271, or 2.7%. Aussie USD, $266, or 2.7%. And then Great British Pounds, the number 2 signal, $252, or 2.5%. Overall, if you would have traded those 5 signals in the past week, you would have made $2,091, or 4.2%, and that is pretty okay in our book. Now you know also that we are trading the portfolio, and the portfolio here for the profit retriever, we started this one back in 2022, as you can see up in the corner here. So we have quite a few accounts in here. I think it's 22 or 23 accounts that we have, and we did lose 1 or 2 accounts in the past 12 months. but all of them are doing extremely well overall, so it continues to come in. Now the history, look at the history down here, 701 days. So we're getting close to 2-year mark now. It's extremely stable all the way through, but again, you have to trade it in a portfolio. That way you get more of the stability in here. Total return more than 400%, and monthly return is set at 7.5. It is a bit higher because we are not changing the lot size, because all the signals we have in here, they have to go still with the copy link service, as they were $10,000 each. So again, history, 701 days, very, very impressive, and that means that you can basically trust this EA. If we have a look at the net returns, we go all the way back to 2022 July, where we had some small numbers and we didn't have so many EAs back then, maybe 4 or 5 as we started off. And since then, it has been doing quite well. You can see also for the past many months, November 13,000, December 15, January 16, almost 17,000 here. February looks to be a bit lower at the moment, but still 7,560 is definitely in the ballpark of being pretty okay. And you can just see the stability going back all the way through May. We did have a bit of a bump in September, and sometimes it happens that September is either really good or really bad, and obviously this was not one of the best months. Profit Retriever, you can see the portfolio overview here of our website, and also the usual part of how you should actually be trading this one. So this is just a bit of information to always be cautious when you are trading Profit Retriever. It is drawdown heavy. You can find these in here, all the different signals. They lead you to FX Blue. Then you can see which ones you actually want to link up to, which ones are the best risk-wise and profit-wise for you. And there you will find more information. So if you go to the Profit Retriever trading, you can find a lot of videos and support materials in there for you. And if you think this is too much, again, copy link trading and the service over here with Expert Forex will also guide you exactly what you need to do. So you have both options as usual. Trade Explorer is back on. It has been doing quite well for this particular week of week 7. 22 pair made $234 or 2.3%, so which is not too bad. The 10 pair one made a good average $315 or 3.2% just for that particular week. And we think that is also pretty fair and well done for that particular EA. It is extremely stable, and it has been also running for a very long time. The 22 pair, as you can see, has doubled the balance, also doubled the equity, only a minus floating profit of minus 52 at the moment, so that's great. Total return 105%, monthly returns 8%. Also here we are not changing the lot size, even though we now have doubled up. But normally, as we've said, you would take the money out and you will be risk-free, and then you can trade 2 accounts, or you can take a bit of money and go on a holiday instead. History, 277 days. So all looking quite well for the 22 pair. And if we have a quick look at the 10 pair one, that is doing even better. Balance of 25,411. Equity almost the same, minus the $28.11 and 11 cents in here. So also good. Close profits more than 15,000. And the same 277 days of trading. Monthly return is a bit higher on the 10 pair one. It's a bit more aggressive. So 10.4%. So also here, doing quite well, and weekly profits 2.4. Definitely in the zone and has been for a long time. Another one has been in the zone is the Wave Liberator, week 7. You have the top 5 EAs in here, and even though you can see the profit looks a bit low, it's because we're not talking about $10,000 accounts. It's calculated as you are trading $1,000 accounts instead. You can better control with the Wave Liberator the drawdown, which is why also the Great British Pounds USD has made $81 or 8.1%. So if you want to translate that, the percentage-wise is obviously a lot better to go by. The Aussie New Zealand, $75 or 7.5%. Great British Pounds CAT, which is one of the new signals. I'm going to tell you a bit more about that also in this particular video. $47 or 4.7%. Euro USD, $35 or 3.5%. And then you have the Euro Great British Pounds, also $35 or 3.5%. Overall, if you would have traded those 5 signals, basically with 5 $1,000 accounts. In the past week, you would have made $275 or 5.5%. And again, very, very high numbers when you are talking about overall just the weekly profits. If you put that into monthly, you'll see that you'll basically be beyond 20%. So a really good and stable EA. And you can see that also in the portfolio that we are trading. Before and last week we had 13 accounts in here of $10,000. Now you can see the balance has jumped up to 170. That's not because we made an awful lot of money in that particular time. That's simply because 3 new accounts has come in. So now the account balance as it was started is 160. And that still means here that we have made around, what is it here? Close profit, $10,601. But we have a floating profit of minus 949 at the moment. Obviously, that is not much compared to an overall balance and equity of almost $170. So that's good. History, 181 days, so basically half a year now we've been trading this particular one. Total return, 9.6. Monthly return is 1.6. And weekly returns is 0.4. And again, this is because we have set it up. So we can use these particular challenges in here for FTMO challenges. We can stay within the 5% drawdown that is required for most proprietary traders. And then you can always double up the lot sizes if that's what you need. Or you can simply just continue also and do your own risk analysis. So if you're happy with 1 to 10, then you would have 16% on that particular portfolio on a monthly basis, 4% on a weekly return. It's entirely up to you. And I will show you a bit here also how this actually works in real life with real life money. But just before that, I'm going to show you again the graph that we have in here. I'm also going to show you the returns. So as we saw, we have started this back in August when this EA came out. Started off as usual with a few EAs, and as we were adding more and more around November here, we had about 10 or 12 or 13 in here, and now as we are just starting February, we'll now have 16. At the moment we are also a bit low on the profit here, only $920 at the moment compared to more than 2,000. We'll have to see if this one actually gonna pick up. Now I also know that everybody wants to see what about the drawdowns, and you can see there's been quite a few drawdowns in here. And the funny part is that it's not because of a lot of different currency pairs. As you can see, they've been trading in here. Right now, as I said, it's up to 16 currency pairs. You can see the different colors in here. Obviously, number of trades. So some of the new ones that we have in here hasn't been able to trade that often. But most of the times when this has happened, it has simply been one account that has gone completely nuts and basically had a heavy trend in there. And that's also why we're saying that even though we are calculating this profits on a $1,000 account, we do suggest that you try and set it up with a couple of more thousand in here, depending on what your risk strategy is, how much you are willing to risk, and what kind of profits that you want in return. But the more accounts you are putting together in a portfolio, the more safe you will also be at the end of the day. And again, with $4,000 as the maximum drawdown in here, and I double checked these 3 pikes or peaks in here, basically was one currency pair, most of it that they came in from. So that means that you could have had 1 or 2 of the accounts that have basically stood for all the drawdowns. The rest of them were either hibernating, waiting for the next trade overall. And you can see the level we are at the moment, just about 1,000. Again, there's about 2 or 3 that has small drawdowns in there, and 1 or 2 that has slightly positive balances. So if we have to take everything we have here, and as I mentioned before, put it over to a real account. So you take whatever of the 16 different accounts that you have in here, and you put it on a real account, similar to what we have here, the account type. I did cover up the account number itself, things like this, because I don't really want to people to know where exactly we have the accounts. We have prior hacker attempts, things like this. So now we have it completely separate from everything else. And that's also why I just showed you the way this has turned out. This account was $10,000 starting off. The history is 76 days old. So that means the first money to that particular account was added in. We didn't trade that in about the first week or so. But since then, you can see it has been going extremely well. And we started off with 8 accounts for the $10,000. So we are playing it again safe, similar to what I mentioned in last week's news report. Better to have the slow progress, but steady progress overall. And monthly returns at the moment, we are looking at 13.6%. Weekly returns is 3.1%. And look at the trade wins here. We are over 70%. So very, very impressive numbers. And we can sleep at night. We are not even getting close to anything of the drawdowns that you had in here. So you can pick and choose the 16 different accounts that we also have on our website. Find which ones are the best one, and you can obviously swap them around and trade them. There's direct links also, not to the 3 new ones because they haven't worked long enough. Normally, at least we keep them for a month for ourselves. You can obviously follow on our website, but you cannot link to them yet. You will have to deal with the other 13 wave Liberator signals that we have in here at the moment. That is doing extremely well overall. And if you add them in here, you can basically add as many accounts as you want. And then once you want to raise your stakes, you can also increase the lot sizing. So if you start off with a $20,000 or $30,000 account, you can go in and saying, okay, we're gonna add all 13 or 16 when we get to that point. And then when your account is increasing, you can then increase the lot sizing for each individual one to keep up, or you can simply take the money away and start trading another account. It's entirely up to you. Now we're also getting to the point where, again, link to success, and we have talked about this quite a few times already in our videos. As usual, we have our links in here, and so does Alex, and there's a few other traders. And there's some updates to all this, and in that particular video you can go and find more details on that. Some of the feedback from the users are also there, and you can see it also works for our accounts and the real life money section. On top of this, Expert Forex also have the $7,000 competition, and in there's the Liberator version and anything else that can be run. At the moment, it's actually the grid train multiplier, which is in the lead. That is quite a bit of a surprise, and that is what this particular video is showing here, up to 200% in the first 4 weeks. And then you have a couple of accounts that are following closely after with 190, 170, and 160. So again, you obviously learn a lot from these trading sessions in here, where you are trying to push and pressure the EA as much as possible to get the biggest and highest profits without crashing your account overall. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. Once again, I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all the news, the feedback, what we are doing with our accounts, how we are developing our website. As always, go and have a look there, because this is where we're going to show you also the latest profits we have in here. You can go and make your own analysis of all our signals, apart from what I have shown you here today. It is fully available. It's for free. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to provide your name, phone number, anything else in there. This is simply to show you that there is ways actually of making money similar to what we are doing. And then it's entirely up to you if that is part of your risk strategy, you want to go into the Forex market or not. So for this time around, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope also that you will join us next week again. So until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.